Welcome to Amateur Redneck Workshop. I'm Harold, and like the title says, today's the tooth, the whole tooth, nothing but the tooth. It seems like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago now, I had a miserable experience in the tooth back here, number 18 they call it. One of the best molars, one of my favorite ones, got to hurting more and more and more, and so I went to the dentist, and he looked it over and x-rayed it, and he said, it doesn't look good. I said, I'm going to send you to an endodontist. And an endodontist is spelled more money. But anyway, I went to the endodontist, and she was a lady that was, I don't know, I guess pretty understanding about my problem. And she had one of those fancy things that would circle your head and scan you, your tooth from all the different angles. She examined it, and she said, well, she says it's pretty well, she says, I'm sure about 90% that it's fractured, and it's not going to do any good for me to drill a hole down through the tooth to, to try to stop the infection. She said, if it was me, I'd have it extracted. So I went back to my dentist, and he took those needles and jammed them into my jaw from every angle. Waited about 10 minutes to come back and did it all over again. And he waited a little while, and he come back and did it again, and I was really getting kind of numb in some places, but when he jammed the thing down really hard, like as if he was going to push it through my jawbone, it still hurt, And then I got to the most interesting part of it. He grabbed a hold with a big old pair of pliers and pulled that tooth out of there, and that wasn't very pleasant at all, and it was kind of lifting my head up from all the pulling, and he popped the tooth out. Now, he wasn't real happy about me telling him I wanted the tooth. I told him, I said, I'm going to make a video about my tooth. So he seemed to be very annoyed at that, but he had his assistant go and soak it in bleach and stuff like that, because he said nothing bloody can go out of here. And I don't know why it bothered him so much that I wanted the tooth, but anyway, there it is, right there, my favorite molar. And it had already been to an endodontist about in 2011 when I got this cap put on there, whatever they call it, and he drilled a hole right down the middle of it. Said there's still a root in there, and he took the root out, and he did the one in front of it. He popped the cap off of it entirely. It was one of those ceramic types, He took it off, and he drilled that one out and redid it too, because he said it was infected. And maxed out my dental insurance, and I was working for the Big Evil Polluting Oil Company at the time, so I had really good dental insurance, but he maxed that out, and I had to put in probably another $1,000 or so. So anyway, I expected it to kind of last pretty good, but I finally come down to it where that tooth was hurting too much to deal with, And just for the heck of it, I put this little booger here under my USB microscope. So we'll take a look at that too, And there's not going to be no Bubba joke. Little short video like this don't deserve a Bubba joke. So after you look at the tooth, we'll probably just move on. The reason I've got the time to do this is I've been waiting all morning for the air conditioning tech to come and unplug my air conditioner drain. It's all running out of the emergency drain right now. Used to, I had a little ball valve right up against the drain pan, and this thing's going to plug every year or every other year anyway. And I'd go up there and close that little ball valve, and it's got a riser pipe that comes up, and I'd cram a hose in there and use compressed gas and whoosh, blow all the crud out. Then I could open that little valve up and everything drained good until the next plug. Well, we had all our pipes redone here in the house by a couple of bulls in the china shop, and they redid the air conditioner drain, and they removed my valve. I also had a valve outside where the water comes out of the ground. I had one there to cut it off easy, so I didn't have to go out to the meter with that big old rebar looking thing. And they took that too. I wasn't really happy with the job all the way around. I'd tell you the name of the company, but they'd probably sue me and make it stick or something. Anyway, enough whining and carrying on. Let's move on to looking at my tooth under magnification. Oh, but before we get into the video here, if you're, a person with a queasy stomach, easily upset by gross images, you probably don't want to watch the tooth part of the video here. And before I show the tooth, and I'm going to take you by the 3D printer and do a couple of words, and then I'm going to show you some lead that I got out of my Smith & Wesson, and then I'm going to show you the tooth, the whole tooth, nothing but the tooth. Okay? But like I say, if you're real queasy after the Smith & Wesson, you may want to go watch, fuzzy cat videos or little bunnies or something. Okay? For those that wonder what happened to the 3D printer, well, I've been playing with it a little bit, and I decided to sit down and dig into the G-code and see what the stuff was all about. And it's pretty simple, G-code is. And I guess after programming with various programming languages, I like complicated better than I like simple. But it's harder to do stuff manually with simple than it is with complicated. But anyway, I'm trying to print the wheels, make a casting like Mr. Pete's doing for his sander wheels, only I'm not going to use it on a sander. I think I'll just make some nice aluminum wheels and put them on the casters on my lathe. I don't like the wheels that it's got on it, so that'll be a good use for that. That may be too big, I don't know, but we'll find out when we get there. Sure takes a long time. This is my fourth attempt. All the others came up messed up and warped and one thing or another, so I've had to make a lot of adjustments that I not accustomed to and don't know what the heck I'm doing. But this one looks like it might print a good one. We'll find out. Here's one of the reasons you need to clean a pistol pretty often. You see these three little pieces here? Those are little slivers of lead that I just brushed out of the barrel of my Victory 22 pistol. And that's after having shot, I don't know, 300, 350 rounds. So if you get buildup like that after just a little bit of shooting, think about these guys that haven't cleaned their pistol in a year or two. That's going to affect your accuracy once these things are down in the rifling. Okay, so here's the tooth under the USB microscope, and I think down in the bottom right hand corner you can see the crack, or fracture as it was called. Runs right down the tooth all the way down to the root there, or the bottom end or whatever. And that was the gold crown there. This is just another part of it here, another side of the tooth. And it's got a weird looking little hole there in it. Looks like a hole. I'm not sure if that had anything to do with the fracture, but that crack running down it there, I believe that's the fracture. Now then, in a minute I'll roll it over and show you the top of the crown. And remember, this crown was put on back in 2011, and then we discovered that I had a painful root down in there. The thing was hurting me. I accidentally tap on it with a spoon or something, and it would hurt like the devil. Not that I normally try to gag myself with a spoon, but any kind of touch would hurt. And that gold pretty. Yeah. See that little gray spot, that gray sort of circle in the middle? That's where the first endodontist drilled down in there, and he refilled it with that stuff, whatever it is. He went in there and plucked out the root and filled it full of junk and packed it up and sealed it up. And so there you are. I'm going to try and give you a better look at the crown there. the man's big hole he drilled in it. And it's amazing that gold's all shiny. Of course, it doesn't tarnish, does it? All right, I guess I've grossed you out pretty well enough now, and we'll go back to the other part of the video that you've seen the tooth, the whole tooth, nothing but the tooth. Well, that's all, folks. Y'all try to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Leave a comment if you got something to say. And above all, remember, keep on keeping on. Bye now.